On this episode of the Gideon's Tactical Show, we look at recent books I've read, random stuff from Walmart that's blowing my mind. We answer a bunch of your questions from the mailbag. I have a limited quantity of Gideon's Tactical patches that you might be able to get your hand on. We've got 3 new fixed blades that I'm currently testing that I'm super pumped about for different reasons. Well, that's right, folks. Back at it with you. We've had a sabbatical for a while. It's just been a crazy, crazy summer. Vacations, working a ton at the office and at work, and then, you know, trying to just do stuff with the family, you know, get out and enjoy life. And so the Gideon's Tactical Show has kind of been on the back burner for a while, but I've had some stuff piling up that I want to talk with you about, share with you, discuss, and so I figured we would do one today. So I hope you really enjoy the content in this video, and we're going to get to your guys' mailbag questions here in just a little bit. And in the future, if you want to be a part of the mailbag, always put hashtag mailbag and you can ask your questions, and you might see them in an upcoming video like this. But first off, guys, I've been trying to do some more reading over the summer, you know, hang out in the hammock or chill out, you know, and on the front porch at night and read. And 2 books that I want to recommend to you, a third and then a third one that I think every American for sure should have. But the first one is Andrew Jackson and the Miracle at New Orleans, and this is by Brian Kilmeade and Don Yeager. And this is the second book in a series of kind of historical books. The first one I read was Jefferson and the Barbary Pirates, and it's all about the beginning of the Marine Corps and our first war after the War of Independence, and really interesting stuff about fighting the pirates in the Mediterranean from Algeria and from where Libya is now in Tripoli, you know, where the Marine Corps anthem comes from and things like that. So it's a really fast read, that one, and it's really interesting, and that's what I really like about these books. At this phase of my life, I don't have really the time or mental capacity, to be honest with you, to park and like get super deep into some super deep long chaptered book. I need quick bullet points, but I love history, and I love history that's either I don't know about or that's fun and entertaining. And both of these books are about parts of history that I'm not really familiar with, but are very fun and entertaining and very fast reads. And I picked this one up because it was from the same author, same kind of style, very quick bullet points, but very entertaining. And this is all about the War of 1812 and how we won the War of 1812, and how Andrew Jackson played a huge part in that. I don't really know a lot about Andrew Jackson. I don't really know a lot about the War of 1812. I know the British burned Washington, and I know we fought them for a while and kicked them back out and got a treaty. I mean, that's basically all I knew going into this book. But this has a lot of really cool information. It's really laid out well, and it really was a miracle, and just the ingenious of Andrew Jackson really kind of carried the mantle after George Washington died of that leader, and particularly a military leader, to save the Union a second time during the War of 1812 against Britain. So totally recommend these. These will be in the links over to Amazon below, both of these books. I really recommend them. They're really fun, fast, quick reads, great for summertime, and you'll learn something maybe about history that you didn't know before. The third book is something that I just was on a whim, was walking through Walmart, and this is going to lead to this other thing I'm going to show you here in a second. And I found this for $10. I think it's a faux leather, but I mean, it looks really nice. You can see there. It's the U.S. Constitution and then other American writings, and I'm about halfway through this right now, and it has a lot in here. It's really cool. I think every American needs to know these. I don't care where you are in your political spectrum. I don't care where you are in your belief systems. If you are an American citizen, you need to know this. And it has stuff from the Mayflower Compact. It has the Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death speech, the Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation and Preparation of the Union, the Treaty of Paris, the Virginia Plan, the Northwest Ordinance, the Constitution of the United States of America, the Federalist Papers, George Washington's first inaugural address, the United States Bill of Rights, Thomas Jefferson's first inaugural address, the Louisiana Purchase Treaty, Star Spangled Banner. There's pages and pages of stuff in this thing. It's bouncing around a little bit. We got a little GT Junior here messing with the tripod. Hopefully it'll be semi-stable, but I mean, it goes on and on. It's got basically every important thing in here. Abraham Lincoln's first and second inaugural addresses, the Gettysburg Address, It even goes all the way through. It's got Lyndon B. Johnson's special message to Congress, Ronald Reagan's first inaugural address. We got Bill Clinton's announcement of military policy, George Bush, Barack Obama announcements, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, the last one was Osama bin Laden's death announcement. So I mean, there's just really important moments in American history and our rights and the Constitution that are in this book. I found it at Walmart. Again, I couldn't really find anything that was so elaborate on Amazon. So I encourage you to go over the little book section at Walmart. You might find this thing for 10 bucks. And I think everybody should have it and read through it. I mean, it's important documents in this little guy. And that will transition to these Ozark heat/cooler bags. They're $5 at Walmart. You may have passed them if you have walked into Walmart recently and you're like, man, is that just like a joke? Are these any good? They got, you know, I think they're rated for 48 cans is how big they are. Big, nice zipper, 2 handles, and a little pocket on the outside. You know, supposedly waterproof interior, and either to put hot stuff in and keep them warm, you know, if you're traveling somewhere, or cold stuff cool. Well, I used them this last weekend and I was stunned at the cold capability. I'm keeping things cool. I haven't really tested the heat too much. I've thrown a couple like rotisserie chickens in there and traveled like, you know, about 45 minutes and they've still stayed really nice and warm. So I can't tell you quite on the warm rating, but as basically an ultra budget friendly, I would say 24 to 48 hour cooler, these things are mind-blowing. I threw a bunch of soda cans that were warm, like room temperature, and a couple other things in there, and I did 2 cups of ice, that was it, and 2 medium-sized ice packs in each one. I put them in the evening. It sat all the way through the night, sat all the way through the day, and it's like 90s here in the Rockies right now. So blazing sun in the car, pulled it out 24 hours later, and they were ice cold. Now the water, the 2 cups of ice had melted. The packs, the freezer packs were about halfway melted, but wow, that it was still holding the retention of of the coolness in the beverages after 24 hours in that type of situation was awesome for $5. So if you just need some coolers, some extra ways to keep things cool in particular and possibly warm, and you don't want to break the bank, and you know you're thinking 24 to 48 hours is about your time frame that you think it would be, you know, used, I think these would be an awesome option to give it a shot. And it didn't leak. The ice melted, but the waterproof liner held up really well. So awesome. Check those out, Ozark bags over at Walmart. So next on to our patches. I have about 60 Gideonstactical patches on hand right now that I want to offer up to you guys. I will have a link in the description below over to my eBay page. So you got to have PayPal, you got to have eBay. That's the way that I'm doing it right now. Hopefully down the line I can come up with some better system, but that seems to work the most streamlined for me. I will ship these anywhere in the world, free shipping to you guys. So I will have a link. Just click that link below. Maximum of 4 patches per purchase, please. Don't go over that. I want to be able to give it enough of an opportunity for people to rock these. I just appreciate it. It's mind-blowing that every time I put these up, you guys are falling over yourselves, it seems like, to get your hands on them. It's just awesome to know that this logo, what we stand for here at the channel and what we do, is loved and represented around the world, and that's because of you guys. I just thank you so much for that. So check it out. These PVC Gideonstactical patches, super awesome, available now. So got to show you stuff I'm working on. You know, that's one of the things we love to do here at the Gideonstactical show, is get you kind of your mind going, getting excited. You know, like, oh man, I can't wait for that video. So 3 fixed blades right now. I'm working on 3 different fixed blades. I got more stuff going on, but these 3, man, I'm like pumped about for different reasons. So I've never in 7 years of Gideonstactical done a video on the Glock field knife, made in Austria. So this is, you know, like a military soldier knife, you know, designed that way, been around, I think. But what I love about this is a couple things. One, it's a carbon steel. It's a low base carbon steel, but you know, it seems to be holding a decent edge, super tough, durable. It's got a nice root saw is what they call it for notching, those type of things. Great blade shape, really good handle ergonomics, everything, you know, going for it for like a quote-unquote soldier knife tactical blade. And this sheath is really impressive. It's ambidextrous, it's polymer, really locks that in. You will get rattle, but man, is that thing secure in there. It's even got a little lashing point right there. Really slim and sleek, cutting down on excess bulk. And this clip even is super cool to get on your belt or LBE system. It'll run through there, and then you fold it to the side and slide it in. And now it's locked into place, and you really got to work on it to pop it off. But then it'll pop itself off, and then you got that lever retention that, again, you can do ambidextrous. that way. So the benefit of all of that is that this is $30. It's almost like the tactical Mora, you know, like think Mora knives, you know how for bushcraft and outdoorsy stuff, you know, you can't beat them. Well, those aren't very tactical. This is, you know, definitely designed as like a soldier tactical blade, but it's $30. I mean, I don't know of another knife that, from what I'm seeing, has all the potential, all the capability, sheath going for it, ergonomics, blade shape and style, on the tactical side for that price point. So pretty mind-boggling. If you want to pick one up right now, those will be in those links that we offer to you, GP Knives, Blade HQ, Amazon. We appreciate it when you guys use those hyperlinks. If you want to wait through the video, I'm still doing some testing on it, but so far initial testing, I've been very impressed with what it has to offer for the price. Next up, I went over on Amazon, and I cannot tell you how pumped I am about this knife, just for how cool it is. It's different, and it's from a company that we've never tested here before. It's Work Tough is the name of the company. I guess they've been around doing knife stuff, I guess, for 20 years is what I understand, but this actual brand has been around for a short period of time, a year or two. Based out of Taiwan, and I have the, I want to make sure I get this right, Lanzetta. The Lanzetta, I mean, that looks like a small Spartan blade or something, you know, I mean, just freaking amazing. I paid about $130 on Amazon for this guy. Made again in Taiwan. You got G10 molded handle scales that are amazingly ergonomic. You can get them in a couple different colors. It's got an 8-inch overall blade, about 7 inches with the actual finger choil, you know, taking out about 1 inch there. You got this recurved portion into this large belly, a thick swedge, but giving it that really cool feel. It's ultra fast, ultra lightweight. It's made out of Japanese SK85 or SK5, I think is like basically it's a version of that steel, and differentially heat treated, and it is 56 to 58 on that heat treat, and it's holding a phenomenal convex edge that this thing has. Razor sharp. Wow. The only thing that I'm seeing as a possible drawback, I'm in a very dry environment, and I'm treating this the same as I treat all of my knives. Nothing out of the box, nothing different. And you can see here all of the rust marks, even on that kind of finish there, is showing up on the edge. And it didn't oil it or anything, but I don't oil any of my other 1095 or 5160s or SK5 steel blades. This is really picking up the rust. So that would be something just to consider, that if you are in any time, I'm in the Rockies, very low humidity, like 20% is average for us. If you're in high humid environments or just in a lot of moist environments, wet environments, then you may want to really just take really good care and extra care of this knife. Seems to be picking up rust a lot, but video will be coming soon on this as I get more and more experience with it, but so far initial is mind-blowing for the price. And I love the design. It really connects with me. Well, it's been a long time since I've spent about $400 on a knife, but I did that for this Winkler Pathfinder designed by Jason Knight. This is my very first Winkler knife. It's my first Jason Knight knife as well. It just connected with me, and it's been a long time since I've spent that much money on a knife. I've always seen Winklers. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Winkler, yeah. Winkler knives, and this one just connected with me, man. I've got it off of Blade HQ. I think they do still have a couple models. I think this is like a walnut handle version. I mean, just check out that handle. Look at that, pinned in. Just epic, about a 4-inch, maybe 4¼ inch blade, 4-inch cutting edge overall. The ergonomics are insane. I believe it's 80, what is it, CV or VC2 steel, and then a crazy leather over Kydex sheath. So it's like a combo sheath there. Wow. So really looking forward to getting a lot of use on this thing, and talk and discuss in the video that we will do on this. You know, $400, is that really the best, you know, way to spend your money? Is there other stuff out there in that price point to think about? And what do Winkler knives have to offer in general? So we will hit all that, and that's going to lead us, guys, into our mailbag discussion point time, and this is going to be the first question that I will answer. The question comes from, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Good Homer Outdoors, and he was asking, hey, like expensive knives, what's like kind of like the most expensive? For him it was $250. Like, you really won't buy knives over $250. What's really the peak for me for a knife? And I would say at this point in my life, and I mean, I sat there with it in my cart for about 2 days before I actually pulled the trigger on it. Just like, should I buy it? Should I not? Should I buy it? Should I not? It's about $400, like max. I mean, these are like $380, and then with tax, you know, it's like $400. For a fixed blade right now, for me, that's about peak that I will personally like pay out of pocket, and it has to really connect with me at this point and really have something special. And this knife does. That's why I was willing to do it, for many of the reasons that you'll see in the upcoming video. And for a pocket knife, that would be also about max. I know there are like some Hinder knives that I'm looking at, and some other things that are right around like 375, 400, and I'm like, that is super steep. I'm gonna do that like once or twice a year maybe, but that's about it for me. More than that, when we start getting $500, $600, I mean, you can get so much for $400 or less that it's really hard for me to justify that at this point in time in my life. Okay, so next up we have Richie J. He says, I'm new to the channel, love the content. Are there websites to purchase used knives, hiking gear, backpacking equipment, camping, etc. that you would recommend other than eBay? Not really. The eBay is the best place. That's where I go a lot to buy a lot of used gear. Amazon does have the either return or like used gear option oftentimes in the drop downs, and I will buy those a lot. And as long as it's usually like certified, you know, like from the Amazon, if it's from the Amazon warehouse, most products that I buy I'm happy with. It's kind of 50-50 with pocket knives or multi-tools. I've gotten some that are great, and some of them I'm like, the centering's way off and it was probably returned for that reason, and now I'm getting another return, you know, or something like that. There's some issue possibly with like a lot of moving part products, but backpacks, tents, fixed blades, hatchets, like that type of stuff, the Amazon used portion or return portion, you can sometimes get like 20% off, 30% off of a new product, and you can't even tell it's been used because it probably hasn't. It was just returned because they weren't happy with it, what it looked like, or they got it somewhere else, you know, whatever the reason may be. The only other place that I know where some people have gotten good deals is on the Facebook marketplace recently. When I took a bunch of the guys backpacking, several of them, 2 or 3 of them, got their gear on the marketplace, and 2 of them got like Mountain Smith backpacks that were normally like $160 on Amazon at the time for like $40, and they'd been used like twice. So they got some really good deals, some tents and things like that off of the Facebook marketplace. So I would recommend checking that out as well. Next one's from Shelly Carr. How you doing? I remember you. Hope you're doing well. And this one is, any chance that your GT boys, as they get older, will review kids gear for hiking and backpacking, etc.? Thanks so much. Learn so much. Yeah, absolutely. That is the plan. This year, GT Junior, you know, he's like, he just turned 3 recently. So he is just starting to get his hands on stuff. It'll probably be another year or 2 before he actually gets more screen time and we start doing like little kid backpacks and, you know, maybe some other products that would work for him. But yeah, you will begin to see that more and more. At this time, it's really GT Junior Mark II stays home for the most part, unless we're just kind of doing like a picnic or something, or just kind of hanging around a campsite, you know, small stuff. And he doesn't really have any gear that's like geared towards him. But GT Junior has like a kids, KELTY kids sleeping bag I've recently bought that we're trying to test out right now. We're about to do some packs for him and just different things. So you will see that in coming years, but it will probably be a year or 2. As long as the channel, you know, keeps running and keeps doing what it's doing, you will see that eventually. This next one is a good one. I cannot pronounce this. This is like Karimski. Sorry. Says, what type of emergency shelter do you build if you have to spend an unplanned night in the backcountry during a simple day hike? I'm assuming you wouldn't have any tools with you since it's a relatively short hike. Well, the first thing is that's not correct. Don't assume that I wouldn't have tools. Even if it's an ultralight, and I mean like there's a road 2 miles back, I'm going to have some kind of tools with me. Most likely it's going to be a lightweight belt knife, could be just like a simple Mora heavy duty companion, or Garber, you know, something like that, and a Bajo Laplander saw. You know, those would be like my 2. That's just a must. I mean, if I'm going, it doesn't matter. That's what I'm taking with me. So I'm gonna have a folding saw, and I'm gonna have some form of lightweight, compact, fixed blade, and probably something slightly larger, more like a survival knife, like an SE6, BK7, a Turok. You know, something like that is what I'm going to have. So there will be tools that I can build some form of a shelter. Now, shelter building is really exhaustive. You're going to burn a lot of energy, and you have a higher probability of, you know, like damaging tools, those type of things. So that would be a very last resort, in which case I would do a very simple, like one stand lean-to, where one stand is like up against a tree branch, and then it goes down to the ground with that big long branch, and then I just put a bunch of like pine and other full green leaves on it just to give me like a wind block basically, and a little bit of shelter if there was snowing or something like that. But I'm always going to have some form of either emergency blanket, or I tend to have with me my emergency bivy from SOL that would give me enough heat, protect me from the elements enough, and particularly if I did a very simple lean-to shelter like that. And I may not even need tools, or very, again, my folding saw could cut off those pine boughs and other, branches, and I hopefully could find, a good 10-foot, 12-foot long branch, thick enough, just to lean up to kind of rest everything against, to give me some sort of little lean-to. And again, if not, I got my folding saw and I can use it to get that down. So that's what I would do with the shelter situation, in emergency situation like that. That would be my plan, or look for other natural elements, possibly a rock outcropping, something like that. All right, I'm gonna pull a bunch of these off of Facebook here, since we posted these, questions in 3 different places. This one is from Kristen Wyndham. It says, what inspires you? My relationship with Jesus Christ, my family, and the outdoors. Those 3 things inspire me in everything that I do. The next one, these all kind of build upon each other. Will Peterson, I think I know the answer, but what is it about the story of Gideon that inspired you to come up with the name Gideonstactical? When I was first coming up with the idea, and just like, what if I name this channel, what would I do? I'm just thinking about stuff. My relationship with Jesus Christ is extremely important to me. I love the stories in Scripture and what they represent and how they can apply to each one of our lives even today. And I really liked this story, and I always have since a little kid, the story of Gideon, because he's this no-name guy, has no prior military experience, has no prior experience whatsoever. He's a nobody. And so what really connected with me out of that entire story is that I don't have any prior military skills. I'm not in law enforcement, I'm not medical, I don't have any of those type of things. I'm just an average Joe, but I know that there's greatness in me, there's greatness in each one of us, and if we're just willing to tap into that and walk that out, we can do great things. And our lack of being known or skills in the beginning doesn't mean that we can't be used and can't accomplish great and mighty things in life in general. So that's always been a major connection to me, and that's why I named the channel that. So then to build on that, Joe Ziran, Z-I-E-R-A-N. Sorry, I'm super bad pronouncing names, guys. I'm doing my best. Is there any particular verse in the Bible that holds a special meaning to you? Obviously, that one that I just shared with you. Joshua 1:9, be strong, courageous, for I am with you, is another big one that encourages me. Just be strong for my family, be courageous in life and my decisions and what I do, not hold back, and know that God's always with me. This one's really good. Jeff Winkler. I don't think there's an affiliation there with the knife company, but maybe there is. I don't know. I'll have to, I don't know, Jeff. Maybe respond and tell me. Is Mrs. GT a coffee fanatic like I am, or does she have another preferred drink? Mrs. GT will drink coffee, but it's like half the time. I'm like, when I wake up, it's part of my routine. I get my AeroPress out, boom, make a cup of coffee, sit down, spend some time reading the Word, just focusing on life, kind of getting planned for the day, and then I go on with my day, and I'll have 4 cups of coffee a day, usually 3 to 4 is usually what I have. She sometimes will have a cup of coffee with me if she wakes up at the same time I do. I'll ask her, hey, do you want a cup of coffee today? Yeah, sure. That's her attitude towards it. And if you had to ask her, she's probably 50-50 coffee or tea. She does drink a lot of tea. I don't drink anywhere near as much as tea as she does, but we have a bunch because of her. All right, now I'm going to pull some here from Instagram. This one is from Northerner70. 7373, nice, the GT show is returning. Have you ever seen or heard anything weird out in the woods that would make you a little freaked out? Does that ever happen where something has happened, or I've heard something or whatever that would make me kind of freaked out? Yes, one time my brother, my buddy Brian, who you see here on the channel sometimes, and myself, we were hiking over a pass in the middle of nowhere. We didn't see anybody. We had to drive way back on a back road, and then we went over some passes and things like that, and we had taken our firearms with us and 100 rounds to find a berm and just do some simple target practice once we got to a spot about 4 or 5 miles in. And as we started firing up against a mountain, basically there was this berm, and then a little bit further, and then whatever. Apparently there had been a pack of coyotes or something on the other side of that berm that we did not see because we hiked up and it was a huge berm. We kind of looked. but didn't really see anything, so they must have been like around a corner and trees or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, we started firing, and these coyotes lit up, howling and barking and screaming, and we were in this kind of like cavern, or not cavern, but like big gully with big mountains all around us, so it was echoing like crazy. I mean, it freaked the crap out of us for about 30 seconds. We were like, what is going on? Are these like wolves? We don't really have wolves in Colorado, but the way they were screaming didn't quite sound like coyotes. And it was, I mean, it was probably only like 3 or 4, but man, it sounded like 100 of them because of the echoing and stuff. And so we were like, holy crap, you know, and we kept firing to kind of freak them out and get them shoot off. And we made sure that we had a good amount of ammo with us on the way back. And it was definitely like a nerve-wracking experience. Okay, this one is the Mad Maritimer. Thoughts on tactical pens? Do you ever use them? Is one better than the other? I don't use them. I've had, I think, one that I tested out because the company just sent it along with some other gear one time. They are thick, bulky, and to me, unless you're like training hand-to-hand combat, they're basically, to me, just like a glass breaker mostly. Unless you like practice that, I don't really see the value in trying to invest in some super, you know, like $40, $50 quote-unquote tactical pen. Just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And the likelihood of you possibly like losing, unless you're like carrying it on your person constantly and it's like part of your EDC system. If you know how to use them and manipulate them and they're a good self-defense tool for you, awesome. For me, they're not, and I feel like I would have to train a lot with them to make them even valuable. So why carry the extra weight and invest the extra money? That's my experience with tactical pens. So there you have it, guys. I know there's a bunch more good questions that you guys asked. I will do it in the next Gideon's Tactical show. I will offer up more questions, but I'll also pick some from this last batch as well. We had some really great questions that I want to answer. I just don't want this video to go dragging on for another 45 minutes. So thank you so much to those of you that got, you know, your questions answered. Awesome. Those of you waiting in the wings, know that I still love you, and I'll try and grab as many as I can the next time around when I do the next Gideon's Tactical show coming here in a couple weeks. It'll be more like once or twice a month right now, just with the way my life's going. But stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Know that we're coming up on 150,000 subscribers, and this week is the seven-year anniversary of us being here on YouTube, and I just thank you so much for that. I've been here for 7 years because you, the viewers, come back week after week, participate, and be part of the family here. It's just awesome, and without that, I would not be here for the last 7 years, and I cannot thank you enough. This started out as just a little hobby of mine, and it has become part of my life and who I am and part of my identity because of you guys being the people who want the information and like the way we do things here, and that just means so much to me, and you guys are awesome. So we will be doing kind of a combo giveaway coming up real soon, so stay tuned for that in the next week or so. You'll see that. I'll be posting it up. We're going to be doing a couple different giveaways. I had Gerber send me a strong arm and a center drive with the firearm adjustment stuff on it. That'll be going to be a giveaway. I've got a almost $300 automatic Spinnaker watch that we'll be giving away with a AeroPress and a coffee mug, and then we'll also be giving away some outdoor stuff as well, possibly a knife and backpack and things like that. So stay tuned. It's gonna be awesome. That'll be coming up real soon. You'll see that drop in the next week or so as we celebrate about to hit 150,000 subscribers and 7 years here at Gideon's Tactical. So love you guys. You're awesome. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, all social media. Make sure that you hit the subscription, watch the other videos that are popping up, and as always, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.